What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy Chang, a nurse, a mom, and a health coach, and this is Healthy AF, where honesty and humor and heart meet real talk about feeling good again, inside and out. We're cutting through the noise, dropping the guilt, and reminding you getting healthy isn't about perfection. It's about choosing yourself, one loving decision at a time. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. My name is Amy Chang, and I'm a health coach here with Healthy Life, Health and Wellness Coaching. I am thrilled to be back with Michelle Gallagher. She is a bestie, and she's here talking with us about breath work, and in particular, 9D breath work. If you didn't tune into our last conversation last week, you don't really have to, but it might be a good listen just to give you some context on how did we get here talking about breath work? So rewind the tape, listen to last week, and then pop in. But we're glad you're here at any rate.
Hey, thanks for having me back again. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited to see you. Okay, so last podcast, you were just about to get into something juicy about 9D breath work and breath work in general. And I said, no, we have to make them wait. So the question I think we ended on was we saw some athletes in the gym. We started changing the way we coached them. And something happened that was awesome sauce. And we introduced breath. And when we introduced breath into their movements, their movement pattern changed. The way they felt in their bodies changed. Their performance changed. And so now we're stuck with this breath seems like a little bit magical.
Yes.
What's this breath thing about?
Yes. And I got there because I was on that path for myself. So everything I feel like I have been teaching to other people is because I have experienced it myself. We have some mentors who are like, I remember this stayed with me because it's like the audacity of me to do something and tell you to do something when I haven't actually done the work myself or experienced it for myself. So that has always stuck with me. When I do something for someone else, it is because I am coming from a place of experience, and not that everyone is going to have my same experience, but I just want to let you know, I got some skin in the game on this, and this has changed my life, and anything that changes my life, maybe it might change another person's life. And so why not share it?
Yeah, it becomes a service.
Yeah,
for me. And I was actually I have a business opportunity coming up. This is totally a rabbit hole, but it's my podcast, so I love having rabbit holes. So I have this business opportunity coming up. Kind of like laying around. We're not quite sure what we're going to do yet, but it's about divorce in your midlife. And so I was talking to my VA, and she's a brand new VA with me. She's been with me for a few months. And, my marriage ended 9 years ago, really. I mean, the legal stuff took a while. And then I had another very significant relationship that ended a handful of years ago. And she didn't know about all this because I don't really talk about it a lot because I'm not her really anymore. And it was interesting because she asked me a couple questions. And so I just laid out this story for her. And I've been on the fence about engaging in this midlife divorce recovery community. And sometimes I feel like, I don't really know what I have to say. And after I told her it happened to me this way, and this is what it felt like, and this is what I did, and blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh my God, Amy, do you know how many people you could help? And it does become it's great that I've lived through it, and I'm glad to be where I am right now. Wouldn't give it up.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be a drive that says, if I got here, somebody else can get here. And maybe sharing how I did it can give them even an 8th or a 10th or 100th of a tool to have them progress a little bit more on their journey, make it a little easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you live through some stuff and you put enough tools in your toolbox, it makes it something you can share with people as a service.
Yeah.
So that's why I have the job I have. I assume that's why you landed into breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how those pain points become like purpose. And I think that's really, really important to note that I'm not grateful. There's a part of me that's like, I don't appreciate any of the bad stuff that happened in my life. I don't appreciate the grief. I don't appreciate having to go through the hardness of almost like not surviving the hard things.
Yep.
And yet I can appreciate the choices that I have made and the purpose that I have found continuing to walk those paths. And now being able to see someone else who's like going through something similar. And I'm like, I see you.
Yep. I see you.
I know what a smidge in my own way, I can relate to what you're going through. And I think there's something really powerful about that.
Yeah, no, I had the same experience this weekend. I was with a group of friends and we were talking, and there was a guy that I didn't know, and he was really he was suffering. And I could look right across the room and be like, there's Amy Chang 4 years ago. There she is. Wow. And she was suffering. And I had people come to me and say, I see you suffer. People I didn't know, And so I did. I went over and I just said, dude, man, I see you. And he just busted. It's just something when you make it through to recognize, and it might be different situations, but the pain, the grief. And I have that similar, like, if I were in charge of my life and I were crafting my life trajectory, would I put this point in there? Like, even knowing the spot that I'm going to end up, would I put this in there? And I'm like, I don't know that I would ever choose to sign up for some of those pain points.
100%.
It's so weird. And yet I can totally recognize I don't get to be here without going through those.
Yep.
Can't change them.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I would not have crafted those in.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough.
And the breathing.
Yeah. So breathing, we think, I think most of us kind of we think about breathing like, okay, like Lamaze class.
Yes.
Or like when you're getting, that's the thing that your doctor recommends to you before you have your baby is like, go hit a breath class or like a labor class, to kind of educate yourself on that. Or maybe you'll find yourself at a yoga studio and they'll have an event or a workshop where there'll be some breath work, maybe, but like, or you're just like, breathing is just something I do automatically. Like, why would I need to think about that?
Right. Or it's strictly for performance. I've done that too.
Yes.
Like I did have a trainer one time, and I did nasal breathing on the rower, and he was like, you have to row to your breath. Oh my God, that's so good for you. And man,
that's legit.
Roof, I know. Yep. But it was strictly for performance. I wasn't asking, I wasn't looking for anything else to shift.
Yeah. Like Wim Hof, like I came across his stuff, and he's the Iceman. Have you heard of this guy? He's amazing. Oh, okay. So no, Wim Hof, when did I come across him? He holds like all kinds of records for being able to hold his breath underwater in like, I don't know if he's Icelandic. I don't know where he's at.
Super cold water.
He's European somewhere, super cold water, holding his breath. They've done studies on him where they have injected him like in a hospital setting, like injected him with like the flu, and he's sitting there breathing in his meditative state. And this like flu virus does not do anything to him because of his breath. Like, they are studying him. He's won world records for breath holds, and he does like CO2 tolerance training. He's this super like Iceman, like do the cold plunges and like get your energy. And he's just
Okay,
this
I'm going to
super,
find a link and put
oh
that
my
in the show
God.
notes. That is fascinating.
I'm so glad we could share about
If
Wim Hof.
anybody
He's
wants to have
great.
like a deep dive on it, they can go more, but I'll put an initial
Yeah.
little link on who this dude is.
Yes, yes. You'll find his videos on YouTube, and you'll find documentaries on him. You'll find his breath work, and he'll do like 3 rounds, 30 breaths in and out through the mouth the whole time. So it's like activating breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And you do 30 rounds of that, and then you go for a breath hold, and it's his voice coaching you, and you hear this kind of like tribal music in the background. And
Wow.
I would actually, one of my earlier virtual personal training clients, her and I, it was really helpful for her to do this style of CO2 tolerance training. And not necessarily for like performance optimization. It was literally just to help her manage stress and for her to connect to her body and for her to know that like doing something hard, like holding your breath for 30 seconds, it can feel like a threat, right? Like it's nervous system training. It's window of tolerance training. You are building your capacity for hard things with breath holds. And so we would do 3 rounds of that. You would hold your breath for a minute, and then a minute 15, and then a minute 30. And he has beginner versions. He has more intermediate advanced versions. He has novice versions of all of this. 3 rounds, 30 breaths with minute with holds. And it is awesome. And it was one of
when I just have to interject.
Yeah.
When my back was really bad, I don't know, probably 2012, 2013, I started swimming, and I'm still CrossFitting. And this is me in my prime. I mean, I am stout in the CrossFit gym, right? And I go into the pool, and it's a 60-minute master swim class. And for about 40 minutes of that 60 minutes, I'm in panic mode. I shit you not. And I kept having to remind, and I'm not a bad swimmer. I wouldn't say like I'm a natural born swimmer. I don't know. I'm a pretty decent swimmer. I just don't swim.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I'm in the pool and I am just completely freaked out and having to remind myself, Amy, you can stop at any time. You can pull up your head and breathe at any time. And I was just doing the regular, and they were telling us how to breathe, you know, on the 3rd stroke or on the 2nd stroke or whatever it was. But it literally took me 40 minutes out of a 60-minute class to settle my shit down because my nervous system was so jacked up. And at that time, I only breathed to about, I don't know, my sternum.
Yeah.
The end of my sternum. I never breathed deeply.
Yeah.
Woo.
That feels like I'm going to die in this pool.
Pretty
today.
much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It felt like when I guess everybody's been like maybe washed over by the wave, or maybe you've taken a deep dive off the diving board and then like coming up, you're like, oh shit, I really need to get to the top. You know, like I really need some air. Yeah, that air hunger that makes you feel panicky.
Yes. So it's learning how to build your tolerance for that, to build your tolerance for CO2 buildup inside of your body on those holds. But it's like, here you are, you're going through it, you know, on YouTube. And it's like, so there's parameters, right? There's parameters like, hey, it's not necessarily about getting to the point where you feel like convulsion or you feel like you're going to pass out, but like you're noticing the levels of intensity that are building. And it's like, okay, well, if you can't hold your breath, then like when you're practicing breathe it, just take the breath, just take a sip or exhale and then inhale and get back in it or whatever. Right. So it's like, it's a way for you to engage in something that feels really like kind of life-threatening, but it's actually quite safe. So that's amazing. Like that's so cool that we can experience something like that by just breathing in and out of our nose or mouth or whatever. So
I think the first time I breathed, there's a practitioner in Hickory, holistic practitioner. And I think at that time I'd herniated my disc. And I was going to chiropractic care that was actually beginning to heal my body. And I went into spasm. And I stayed in spasm for like 4 months. just would not come out of spasm. That low back was like, girl, we are in protection mode. And
Yeah.
this, of course, was after my marriage had ended, but the finances had not been settled. So there was a lot of fear there for me. And I was trying all kinds of different things to help my back. You'll do just about anything if you're in pain long enough. So I started my woo-woo journey and I met a woman who told me about holotropic breathing. Now I didn't even, I think the last time we sort of chatted about holotropic breathing as a modality of breath work. One thing I wanted to say to everybody here is that you hear breath work thrown around and it seems like it's this thing, but actually it's so many things and so many different ways to do breathing for purpose, right?
Yep.
For your personal performance, for your mindset, for your spirituality, for for the healing, for the release, for all these different things. And there are so many different ways to do that. So for our purposes today, I think when we talk about breath work, we're talking about the whole shebang, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I first tiptoed into that, we did a holotropic breathing session. And I mean, it was like a half a day. And it was weird and it was fabulous. And it was primarily, and you'll know probably what this is called. I don't know what it's called, but it was the in, out.
Is that fire breath or is that something else? And again,
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. There's lots of names.
Lots of breathing techniques. And so I did that for, I don't even know how long. And I went into this kind of meditative / hallucinogenic kind of space where some things that could really let go and come up. And then we stopped that and we were in a room that was kind of dark and we did have the really loud tribal music going on, which at first I was like, God, this is so dumb. No, so helpful. And then at the end, we took some time to kind of process and do some artwork. We had some, yeah, I really liked that. I really liked that. And then share in the group what came up for us. And I will never forget that first ever breath work I did. What came up for me was running through the woods. That I was a woman and I was running through the woods and I felt strong. And this was a big shift because, this was a time in my life where I really didn't know what my finances were going to be like. I didn't know what my family was going to be like. I didn't know if I was ever going to be married again. I didn't know if I wanted to be married again. I didn't know where I was going to live, what I was going to do. So for me to have that come up for me is no, she's in there. Yeah. And so then I could tap into that when days got harder, because it was such it was almost like I guess it's a lucid dream that then I could make more tangible for myself. So it was weird and great. And I kept looking for more of that. And I did a couple of different of those holotropic kind of events where it's hours long and you're decompressing and you're doing that stuff. And I think that was my first breath work. So what was your first breath work?
That's great. Well, that sounds like it was facilitated very well. And I'm really glad to hear that because some people will be curious about breath work. They'll try something and then they'll have an awful experience because they're like, bro, I didn't even know what I got into. We were being told to breathe. So if you were breathing in, out, in through the belly, in through the chest, out through the mouth, conscious connected breathing, that's kind of one of the main ones.
I should say that the facilitator was trained by Stanislav Grof, I think, who is one of the founders of the holotropic breathing method. We'll throw that in the show notes too.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. When you can,
it is amazing to Google
that. Yeah. And it's important. I think there's a lot of people that offer a lot of things and just like anything else, you just have to be aware. If there's not, and I not like an itinerary, but if you're not fully understanding what you're getting into or what you're signing up for, if you're not fully aware that like, okay, we're going to experience this, I'm going to be coached, I'm going to be guided, the room is going to be like this, and then we're going to have an integration time afterwards. We're going to be able to integrate this experience. We're going to be able to paint it out, or we're going to be able to like, art or something physical to like express. That is incredible. That's amazing. And that's something that you should look for, because it's such a bummer when your curiosity is piqued, you put your brave girl panties on, you sign up for something, and then you're like, I had a horrible experience. I didn't know what I was feeling. I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. And when you don't know what your body is doing, if you're not prepared to understand what's happening inside of your body, that somatic experience or the releasing that your body is actually going through, it's very science. It's very like, I can explain why your hands cramp up. I can explain why you're feeling like, yes, why you're like feeling like there's lightning bolts and electricity running through your body, or why you're feeling like your body is like working. So,
and I want to say here too, that a lot of us, when we first do that breath work, we've been so disconnected from our body that we don't have any trust for our bodies.
100%.
So we don't know that what she's doing down there is actually okay and that we're safe.
Yep.
And so without having that going in, and I will say that mine she prepped us like, you may feel this, you may feel that. We talked about some things that we wanted to get out of it. We talked about what was kind of happening in our life. I mean, we really just like, it's like you start massaging that and then you go into your work and then, like you said, integrating it out. So I wasn't aware that was a real thing. I thought it was just my own personal experience, but apparently that's important.
It's so important. Yeah. And there's like a container of safety that needs to happen. There needs to be an environment in which you feel safe enough to even share a little bit of your personal life and just let down, because you're scanning the room. You're walking into a space that maybe you've never been in before. And what if the space makes you feel uncomfortable?
Oh yeah.
Then your brain's like, I don't know. You're constantly searching for safety. Am I safe here? Is this person safe? Is this person weird? Do I trust this person? So that's hugely important for you to feel like the container is safe, for you to feel like the facilitator is safe.
You're safe in your body.
You're safe in your body. And it's all things that your nervous system is constantly scanning for. We do it all. Our bodies are doing this all the time. We just don't realize that that's what's happening. We're like, oh, I got a bad vibe about this place. And it's like, I don't know, but it's not that we can't ever experience that, or I'm never going to put myself in that situation ever again. That's not even real life. So being able to find these moments of going in, you're essentially healing with people, which feels freaking vulnerable sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like, people aren't safe.
I have been so lucky to have been in so much pain that like it was real easy for me to be vulnerable because I'm like, I got it. Something has to change.
Yeah.
So I've actually, I'm grateful for the pain because you couldn't have stopped me from doing something, anything. Let's just shift up out of here.
Yeah, that's honest. That's really
okay.
honest.
So your first breath work experience, I know that we both experienced in the, workout space, in the like how we actually move, how we actually feel, how we stay with our bodies when they're doing hard stuff. What was your first like straight up breathing in a group? What was that?
Yeah. So I came across 9D Breathwork. I kind of heard about it a little bit, but I was like looking on the website and looking at all the things. And there was this link to be able to join Brian Kelly, who's one of the founders of 9D Breathwork. And a lot of the recordings, a lot of the journeys are his voice. And so I'm listening to him, and I'm like kind of reading everything on the website. And it's like, join me for this 9D breathwork experience, and the theme of this journey is called letting go. I was like, ooh, okay, like, all right, let's give this a go, shall we? Because
Michelle's like, I've got a dump truck back there. I'd like to let go. Excuse me, wait. I got a donation for you.
100%. I was like, okay, well, that resonates with me. I feel like I can let go of some stuff. So I was like, okay. So there was a lot of different types. There is a lot of different type of breathwork certifications, trainings, ways in which you can go. You can go the more nerdy athletic route and like optimize like
Yep.
sports performance, and you can do like Lamaze and like doula and all kinds of like for
Natural
women
birth.
who are, like you can, so there's like all kinds of breath work for all kinds of things. There's the more spiritual based aspect where people are coming in and they're like dealing with like, they're dealing with all kinds of stuff. And so there's so much breath work out there. And so there's so much breathwork training out there. And so 90 came across my website, my computer screen. I decided to sign up for the 75-minute, I think it was about 75 minutes, letting go journey. Now it was going to be live, but it was in Bali time, which was going to be like 2, 3 a.m. in my time of the world. And I was like, ooh, that's not going to work. But I got the recording, the live journey that was happening. Everybody was jumping on a Zoom call. I just got the recording in my inbox. So the next day I play it. So it's me with myself and my laptop with my headset in my room, laying down on my bed and being guided, being coached, because you're getting a layer of vocal cues and coaching. You're getting kind of this cinematic, like you were saying, how the drums that you were feeling or hearing, there's music being played, there's binaural beats being played, there's frequencies. It's tuned to 432 hertz, which is like the frequency of nature. There's all of these like nerdy technical things that are being interlayered on top of each other in the recording. And so I push play, I put my little headset on, I put my little eye mask on, and I breathe for 75 minutes in a conscious connected breathing. So in through the belly, in through the chest, and let it go. And after that 75-minute journey, there was a big buildup. I kind of liken it to like a CrossFit gym or a CrossFit class, where you're going to like starting easy, and so like the journey starts like easy, and then it kind of ramps up a little bit. You get your warm up, and then you kind of starts ramping up again, and it ramps up into this like big cathartic like breath hold and then like scream release. And so I knew it was going to be powerful. So I was like doing it when my husband was at work and like my kid was in school, and I was here by myself, and my dog was with me. Like my one dog who's like with me, she's like right there. And so like I scream release, and then it's like down regulation, and then it's integration, and it's all these beautiful visual guided meditative like prompts of like visualize like a golden bubble, and then sip that bubble full of gratitude into your body and hold on to it. Notice how it feels. It's all these like beautiful, like cinematic things. And then your brain, like your body is like filling in the pictures of what you're supposed to be, like what you're visualizing and what they're saying. Like imagine yourself walking through this forest or whatever. And it's just your brain just kind of fills it all in. At the end of it, I was like, what just happened? Like I feel different.
Yes.
That scream release, I had never done anything like that in my life. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I screamed hard. I can't remember if I just let myself do it, or even in a room by myself.
Oh, I know, girl.
In my house, I don't know if I was screaming into a pillow or if I just let it out in my room, but I screamed as hard as I can. And when I stopped screaming, I started sobbing.
Yeah.
And it was all of this like tingling sensations over my body. Like I had never experienced my body doing the things that it was able to do, which now I know it was processing a lot of emotions. It was processing a lot of stuck energy. My body felt so incredibly calm and peaceful at the end of it. And I carried that through for days afterwards, where I'm like, okay, this is how I want to. Like it changed me. And I had never experienced breath before in that way. And so I was like, I found what I want to share. I want to do this for myself. I want to do this for other people. So that is 90 breath work. And it's so cool and unique and different. And I do in person and I do virtual, and it's the amazing capability of like I'm not going to like explain like, okay, well, binaural beats, like we all know that these things exist. Like binaural beats can be really good for, you have like on Spotify, you have like ADHD playlists, right? You have like and binaural
I use a
Sleep
lot
ones,
of
sleep
sleep and
ones, focus, stress management. They're all tuned to different frequencies. And this is like where also things that feel really woo-woo come into the space. So like sound baths, if you've ever experienced a sound bath,
yeah.
crystal singing bowls, basically just percussion instruments. Okay. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about like gongs, crystal bowls, rain sticks, chimes, things, frequencies are very like our bodies are
Super
sensitive.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I
Like
used to go to I still go to this specific Reiki practitioner. She's a buddy of mine. And during more difficult times, she would take one of those bells, that hang on the strings. They got the two bells and then they got the stick and you whack them.
Yep.
She'd just take that bell above my back and whack it. And my entire back would like clamp down. And then it would release after we like let it. But if a sound can make my body do that while I'm just laying there. Okay. So I want us to wrap right there.
Okay.
Because I'm really feeling like there also needs to be something else said, and it's a longer conversation, and it's about how people can get started on breath work, why they would get started on breath work. I mean, Michelle, when you put up that you were doing breath work, as you recall, I'm sure you do, that I was like immediately in your DMs going like, when are you doing that online?
Yeah.
And you were like, not yet, girl. And I'm like, bitch, please.
It's real. It's real.
Help a sister out. Come on. So you've got some stuff coming up, and I want to talk about those things. And I want to talk about the difference between having a guided breathwork session versus like a unguided, not unfacilitated, but unguided. And I want to talk a little bit more about how you bring yourself into the space as a facilitator.
Amazing. I would love to do that.
Good. Okay. Well, let's do that. And we will share that with you guys next week. So make sure that if you have loved this, you click on all the links and then tune in next week when we really get down to brass tacks.
All right. Bye, friend. I'll see you next week.
See ya. Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Healthy AF. I hope something you heard helps you take one small, kind step toward your healthiest self. If you love this episode, hit subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you want more support, head over to myhealthylife.coach to connect with me. Remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start choosing you. See you next time.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.